With the joint reassembled and our peg ready, the next step is to use the drawbore pin. The drawbore pin serves a couple purposes. You can use them in pairs to test two joints at the same time. They usually show up in pairs. But we're just going to use one because we're only assembling one joint. But essentially, the routine is you put the drawbore pin into your offset holes, and it won't seat all the way. You can see there's a gap all the way around the 1/4 inch hole. The next step is to not drive it with a hammer, but instead to twist it. You can put a little lean on it a little bit, and I like to twist it until you're almost to where you don't have much of a gap at all around your pin. With the pin inserted, now you get a chance to test your work. So look along here on the tenon shoulder and look for any gaps if this is your show surface. If it's going to show on the sides, you want to check on the sides. If for some reason you're also going to show on the back, check on the back. Now, if you're dealing with a fragile species, such as cherry, what I will do is I will also drive the pin in from the opposite side, from the non-show side. And what that does is it eases the exit path of the pin too. You don't always have to do this. It's a little overkill for most applications, but when you're first starting out, you don't want your first joint to be a mess. So it's not a bad idea. So if everything looks good and the joint closes up tight, you remove the pin and you get your peg, and then you do your final whittle. And that is an important detail. If you'll notice, this peg is longer than the stock is thick, and that's purposeful. What it allows me to do is it allows me to completely taper to any degree I wish this last bit, because it's going to be driven all the way through and it's going to be cut off. So the peg will look solid from both sides. And so what I will do is reduce this by half usually. This is a 1/4 inch peg, so I'll reduce it to an 1/8 inch all the way around, try to keep it centered. Much faster to do than this is to describe. Then comes the moment of truth, where you drive the peg through the offset holes, pulling the tenon into the mortise. You can use glue in your mortise walls if you wish, and you can even glue the peg in if you wish. We're going to do it without, just to see how strong it is. So I'll position the peg in the hole, get out my mallet. As the peg starts to bend, it will resist you. And don't be alarmed. You just have to drive through. Keep constant. And then I like to get it as close as possible without leaving a French mark on the work. You can see it came all the way through on the back side, and it is completely solid, and you're ready to work with it. No clamps, ready to go.